Alright, so I've glued the first one into place because they're a little bit tricky to get in there. It is very, very tight and tolerances aren't that great, so you may need to sand some of the charcoal away in the holes to get them to fit nice and smooth. I'm not going to glue this last one in, which will allow us to put the full base in, and then we'll proceed to the next step, which is adding a lot more products. So here we go. Now I'm adding a lot of glue here because I really don't want this to move once it gets into the base. And hopefully you should be able to line it up and just push it in, and it should click into place, which it has. Now add some extra glue to make sure she doesn't move at all. I'll grab my smaller one. And that is that piece complete. Next piece we're going to assemble, and here are the pieces. Now I do warn you that about 2 hours before I put these pieces down, there was lots of cursing and swearing and threatening to kill things. The major reason being is unfortunately, most of the parts like these and all these pieces down here, the laser hadn't cut through the back. So it was a pain in the ass to take them out. So when you see me assembling them on this board in a moment, you'll go, gee, they go together nicely and fit beautifully. No, they've been sanded so they fit nicely. It took a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of cursing, especially for these smaller pieces that, as I said, the laser work hadn't gone all the way through, so it was really annoying. Also, there is comments in the system about being wary of parts that will lean up against the boat, and suggesting of putting cling film in between to protect them from the dirt marks. Well, I've cleaned up nearly all the parts that will potentially rub against the ship. Just a very, very light sanding was enough to get the stuff off, and I may also cover it in a light varnish or wood sealer. That way there'll be no chance of this staining any of the ship model. Anyway, we'll start the build process in a second. Alright, so now we've got all the pieces. Let's start. And the first things we'll put in are the barriers that run along here. Now numerically they run from this end to this end, I believe, or have I got it wrong? No, got it right. So let's start. There we go, part number 6. And that's 6 locked in. Part 7. 7 locked in, 8, 9, 10, and number 11. And that is all the pieces in to hold this piece nice and steady. Now we use the bits to hold the ships up. So, starting with part number 19, 2 thereof, and part number 20, which connects to part number 19. First thing to do is put parts 20 on. Just fit straight on there. That's one on, and then glue it in place. And that, a little bit of luck. And that's the one in place. Forgot to add a bit of glue to this, should help. That one in. Another part 19. Part for 20. Done nice and tight. Line it up, push it down. In. Next part number 21, which has number 22 connected to it. It's 22. And that gets glued in here. Once again, another part 21. Glue it up. Part 22. Put it in place. And last but not least, part 23. Which has part 24 attached to it. And it's attached to the base. It's 24. And lastly, we glue in the last piece. And that's it for the base section. We'll now let that dry.